Saints week 2 preseason is in the books. Tyler Shuck started and looked very comfortable, 9 of 12 for 66 yards and 5 different receivers. We had big shots. We had real chemistry with Olave and Shaheed. But Spencer Rattler finished the job in style, but do not let the box score fool you. There was messy tape in this game, soft middle zones defensively, missed tackles, bad penalties. But the real headline, I think, is the depth and the playmakers that are showing up in this offense. Kendre Miller's balance in the run game. Mason Tipton's big play juice that Kellen Moore and Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler are 100% buying into. Jonas Sanker sealing it. Isaiah Stallbird thumping. And we've also got Jalen Ford's interception, a 65-yard boot from Kai Kroger in this one. Let's go ahead and get into it. As like I said, we did have Tyler Shuck starting in this one. He did go 9 for 12 of 66 for 66 yards to 5 receivers. I didn't like the fact that this defense was really letting up soft spots in the middle of the field and really in the zones frequently on the Jags' first drive. We really got to clean that up, and no starters on the defense outside of Carl Granderson. Like, I get that, but you still want to make sure that this Saints team has the depth to be able to perform when we have to call on the second and the third string guys. I'm over Cesar Ruiz. Okay, he's absolutely whiffing on blocks, causing Tyler Shuck to commit that awful intentional grounding. I've still never forgiven Cesar Ruiz for whiffing up the block that crushed Drew Brees' ribs and punctured his lung. But we're not going to take that trip down memory lane. We need to go ahead and sign Kai Kroger, the 65-yard boot on the punt. His last name is after a reputable grocery store. Like, go ahead and bring in Kroger the kicker, okay? Or Kicking Kroger, whatever us in the fan base want to go ahead and call it. But I love to see the 65-yard boot. Kellen Moore bringing the 9th best scoring offense in the league over the last 6 seasons to us is definitely starting to show a little bit week after week. And that was with 2 seasons of having injured quarterbacks. If you take those out, it's the fifth best offense on average. Now, Trevor Etienne and Tank Bigsby were just absolutely chewing us up on the ground in this one. And again, I know these are not starters for the defense playing, but it is a clear reflection of our depth defensively. And it's just very clear that this secondary isn't on the same page just yet. They're not gelling. I'm really taking a look at Brandon Staley. He does kind of make me nervous considering what his last defensive responsibilities were when he gave up over 60 points to the division rival in the Raiders before we got fired. But I got to tell you, I love seeing Chris Olave. I love seeing Rashid Shaheed getting some time in this game. Velus Jones Jr., he's really going to take one for a big return. He really is, guys. I think it's just a matter of time before, we saw Shaheed a couple years ago, get the punt return in Green Bay, even though we managed to lose that football game. And you see Shuck taking the shot to Chris Olave. He just barely overshot him right there. I love the call and really the confidence. You have Danny Stutzman jumping in with the PBU, even though it really was an underthrow by Trevor Lawrence. He still got in the position to make a play. So, that's going to stand out on the tape. And if Kendre Miller can stay healthy, I can see why the New Orleans Saints drafted him. I can see why the New Orleans Saints chose to draft Kendre Miller, because when he is healthy, he has the opportunity to give us that boom and zoom factor again. But that is if he stays healthy, or at least he could kind of be an Alvin Kamara light. I understand why he was brought in. Shuck having the confidence on the deep ball, like I said earlier, is just so great. I mean, the deep completion to Trayton Welch on the 28-yarder, just giving his guy a chance, and he's getting comfortable. We're watching Kendre Miller's balance be absolutely insane. But again, there were a lot of sloppy and a lot of missed tackles in this game that I did not like seeing. Now we take a look into the second half with Spencer Rattler, and I love to see the deep shot taken to Mason Tipton. He's really going to be part of the offense that part of the offense he's really going to be involved in. You can really tell. And Kellen Moore sees something in him, right? The 45-yard throw was absolutely gorgeous by Spencer Rattler with under a minute to go, with the 25 to 30-yarder, and then he had a zone shot to Mason Tipton right after that, converting on the 4th down late in the game. And I thought that there should have been a PI or a holding call on the back shoulder fade that Spencer Rattler threw to, Dante Pettis, but it's really neither here nor there. The Saints were struggling to get off the field on 3rd down most of this game, and I did love seeing Jonas Sanker give the big hit to force the 4th and 1, and then he came in at the end of the game with the pick. Really thought it was going to be a pick 6. That would have been an awesome way to be able to end it. Definitely thought he had 1 second left on the clock also, but it's preseason. It is what it is. But hey, that's how it rolls for the New Orleans Saints when it comes to officiating. Saints fans, if you know, you know. But you get when you almost get the near sack on Mullins in the third quarter just for him to slip through and complete the pass. It just drives me crazy on, us not being able to finish plays. And it was a good blitz, right? Like, it was a good blitz for them to be able to come in, but not being able to finish the play. It's just something that we really got to hone in on. We were getting chewed up on the ground by all of their running backs in this one. But thankfully, we did have the duo of Jonas Sanker and Isaiah Stallbird, just some real thumpers who were all over the field. They were quick to the ball. Jalen Ford might have made a moment for himself, giving up some positives on the defense with the interception. But we did have 2 holding calls that ruined plays and ruined drives. And we have multiple false starts in critical situations. And the third down defense gave up every single first down in the first half outside of one. It was 6 of 7. In the second half, they pitched a shutout defensively, and they gave up no third downs in the entire game defensively to the Jags offense. So you got to love to see that. Rattler's mobility definitely makes the offense more dynamic and more creative. And like, when you're just looking at the eye test right now, I think Spencer Rattler is clearly making a case to be QB1. I would love Shuck, our highest pick at quarterback ever, to be the one to take the job. But if he's just not showing it right now, then that is okay. He can be a reputable backup and then punch in if Rattler is not able to really hold it down all season. Now, am I confident about Spencer Rattler as the year goes on? Not necessarily, because can he actually handle a full 17-game season with the schedule that the Saints have? But when you look with the eye test, Spencer Rattler is clearly separating himself from Tyler Shuck in the QB1 battle. Like, you can take a look at the box score or you can take a look at the tape. And I think I'm going to rest my eyes on the tape here. Like, Spencer Rattler is just so fearless, throwing into windows, layering in coverage. We saw that in Oklahoma, and we saw that, in his college career. But it does feel like a tough quarterback battle so far, but I think Spencer Rattler is a notch or two above Tyler Shuck right now. Again, I love Jonas Sanker coming in and just making those plays, with Stutzman as well, and Spencer Rattler leading a 9-play, 82-yard game-tying drive, including 3 big throws to Tipton and Pettis, and his scramble in for the tie on the 2-point. I mean, what can you say about it? Truly, the guy did what he needed to do to tie the game, and he put the team on his back. The New Orleans Saints might need to give Spencer Rattler the starting job after his week 2 performance in the preseason, because he just made his QB1 case even stronger, and here is exactly why. He repeatedly turned chaos into plays, patience in the pocket, elite pocket elusiveness, and the kind of scramble throws that keep drives alive, make defenses respect you, and keep the offense creative. He was picking up blitzes, taking hits, and he delivered the ball when it mattered. That 9-play, 82-yarder that I'm going to mention again, that game-tying drive with 3 huge completions to Tipton and Pettis, and then you get a 2-point scramble like you're just the ultimate dual-threat quarterback. You got to love to see that. It felt like a veteran really taking control of the team, of the offense, and we had a position to win this game with Spencer Rattler under center in the second half. He was just absolutely fearless, being able to layer the ball through coverage, which opened up a lot of deep shots. It stressed the defense. And even beyond the big plays, the processing was consistent under pressure. He stayed calm. He moved the offense. He finished drives. And that is what matters for the Saints right now. Yes, there were mistakes. There were pass pro breakdowns around him that he had to deal with, but those are fixable, hopefully, because we see how disappointing the Saints offensive line has looked in preseason. But what Rattler gave New Orleans felt almost irreplaceable right now. Playmaking variety, toughness, and a coachable floor. If you want potential week 1 certainty with the New Orleans Saints and a dynamite upside, you got to take a look at Spencer Rattler, because he just made a very loud case.